What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, James Eeks, and I am back with my Collinsville Regionals wrap-up. Now, we had a very busy weekend this weekend. We had Collinsville, of course, and I actually just got back from Puerto Rico. Yes, I went to Puerto Rico for the Puerto Rico special event. Me and my roommate Mike went, and I actually ended up taking home the W and grabbing 200 championship points. It was super insane. So if you guys want to check out the video I made on that, I detail my team, I break it down. It was on March 1st, so it was actually the first Season 3 major tournament, so I definitely recommend checking that out. You guys can see my team, and it was actually a really good tournament. But we are actually going to be talking about Collinsville in this regional. Collinsville was super exciting. There was a lot of crazy, niche, fun Pokemon used this weekend, so I'm super excited to analyze it. There is a lot to break down, but first, we're actually going to talk about some drama that was happening at Collinsville. So, the game was supposed to be played on a 15-minute timer, but for some reason at Collinsville, the rules were a little messed up and the whole tournament was actually played on a 20-minute timer, when, once again, it was supposed to be played on 15 minutes. Now, there's been a lot of drama going around. Wolf Glick, if you guys did not know, actually ended up losing in the finals to Andrew Ding, and Game 2 was kind of a slobber knocker. You know, Milotic got up a bunch of coils on Andrew's side and he kind of stalled it out and eventually won. And the thing is we kind of broke it down and did the math, and Wolf probably would have won Game 2 if the timer was on the normal 15-minute timer instead of 20 minutes. But I wanted to weigh in on this, and my opinion is that the entire tournament was played on 20 minutes, not just the finals, guys. So it totally sucks that the tournament was played in this somewhat unfair environment where the players were expecting something else, but every single match of the entire tournament was played incorrectly. So it's not just Wolf who got screwed over by this. Every single match of the whole tournament should have been different. And that even means that the whole top 16, the whole top cut, could have potentially been 16 whole different players. Now, this is a bit of hyperbole, but that's just how it goes. It could have happened. Everything was different. So while I agree that the circumstances were poor and that it was wrong and the whole tournament should have been played right, unfortunately it was the whole tournament. So it's not just Wolf who got screwed by this. Everybody did. So that's my opinion on it. It is unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. But guys, before we get into the Collinsville Regionals wrap up, I want to ask you guys to please check out my Twitch, where I stream 5 days a week, streaming VGC content, other fun stuff all the time. We've got a great community over there, so I would love to see you guys over there. And guys, these wrap-up videos are made to keep you guys up to date, keep you guys up to date with trends in the meta, start realizing trends, you know, maybe this is popular, maybe that's popular, and show how the meta grows over time. So I think these are really important for players of any skill level. So with that, guys, let's get into it. So right off the bat, guys, we've got to give a huge congratulations to the winner of this super stacked tournament. You guys are starting to hear me say this a lot, but this is because there's a new game and all of the world's best players are coming out in full force. So yet another stacked tournament was won by Andrew Ding. So super big congratulations to him. He was using a team of Durant, Gothitelle, Arcanine, Milotic, Sylveon, and Tyranitar. Now, if some of you guys are active on Twitter, you might see this as not a surprise. This team was made by Justin Ramirez, or Lucamere, and he won the Rose Tower Open, a big online tournament. The first Rose Tower Open, he won with this exact 6 Pokemon. And that was over a month ago, so this squad is still kicking. And Durant finally broke its second place curse. Yes, it got second place in Australia and Dallas, but it just got its first big win. So Durant is killing it. Durant usage is honestly surprisingly low for how well it performs. I'd say that players are perhaps scared of running like an unreliable strategy with Hustle. You know, you might miss your moves after the Dynamax, or people running, you know, rogue, crazy fire moves. So that might be scaring off Durant. But Durant, when it comes out used by really good players, it really, really does absolutely kill it. And this team that Andrew was using is no exception. It is an amazing, amazing team. It really, really thrives off of getting the opponents a lead correctly and just punishing them super hard. With Gothitelle Durant, you're able to trap them in, fake out, attack with Durant, or you go with Durant and even Milotic. You know, you scare off that Intimidate, and if they do intimidate you, Milotic's going to be a monster. You've got Gothitelle Tyranitar to trap in those common Pokemon that might be trying to beat Durant, such as Arcanine or Togekiss. And yeah, this team, once again, really does thrive off the lead matchup, and you don't want to let your opponent come back. This team is really good at not letting them come back. But guys, Lukemir actually made a detailed article on this team, so I'm going to link that in the description. I don't want to take, his words and put them in my own when he made a really great article about it. So I'm going to link that for you guys. And once again, huge congratulations to Andrew Ding. He played absolutely phenomenally. The games were streamed, and I'll put that in the description as well. His path to winning was brutally strong. He played such amazing opponents, and he beat some of America's best players and honestly some of the world's best players. So big congratulations to him. And I actually heard he's living in NorCal. I don't know if that's true, so I hope I get to see him at some locals sometime. Next up, guys, we're going to be talking about Wolf Glick and his amazing second place finish here at Collinsville using a really unorthodox hard Trick Room team. The team building trio of Wolf, Aaron, and Justin has been absolutely killing it this season. They've all done extremely well at every event they've all gone to. All of them actually went 7-2 or better at this regional Collinsville with this team. And they have just been absolutely decimating the meta. They've been making really perfect meta calls at each regional of what they think players are going to be unprepared for. And I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. So guys, let's get into the team. The team featured what some just saw as a gimmick, and that is the copycat max guard trick room strategy. If you guys don't know about that, I'll give you a quick rundown. If you use max guard on your trick room, so Reuniclus, Dynamax's clicks max guard on the Trick Room slot, and then Lipard uses Copycat. It copies the last move used, which was max guard, but for some reason how it interacts with Dynamax is it won't use max guard, it will use the move that max guard came from. So it's actually a priority Trick Room, but you can always use a move that will go between the max guard and the Copycat, such as Follow Me or something like that to stop it. But you can get your opponent into positions that you can really just get that Copycat Trick Room off, and it's actually really cool. And once you do get that Trick Room up, Lipard is going to be moving first with Prankster with Fake Tears. So having Prankster, Fake Tears, and Reuniclus just pounding on stuff is really crazy. It helps Reuniclus set up Trick Room, and it helps it sweep under Trick Room. So it's really cool. Then he was running the standard Dusclops Rhyperior mode, where he had Bulldoze, Dusclops, Trick Room, and then he had the Fire Punch on Rhyperior. The fire coverage in the last slot is really good to help with Durant and stuff, which he actually beat a Durant in top 4 because of it. And then he had Togekiss and Mimikyu, which actually helped support the team. Togekiss was able to, Follow Me and Yawn and all that stuff to help get Trick Room up. And then Mimikyu, while having Trick Room itself, actually worked as a out of Trick Room sweeper as well with Swords Dance, Phantom Force, and Play Rough. Wolf played super well and totally clapped people with Phantom Force. It was really cool because people expect Mimikyu to have Shadow Claw, but he would Swords Dance, Phantom Force, and then people would waste an attack going into Mimikyu. So it was super cool. So everyone knows what Rhyperior does, guys, so I kind of want to highlight Reuniclus for a little bit. Now, Magic Card is Reuniclus' ability, and it makes it so you only take damage from attacks. So for example, if you're holding a Life Orb, you're not going to take recoil, but you're still going to do the 1.3 times damage. You don't take damage from weather like hail or sand, and you don't take G-Max wildfire damage, which is huge. And the fact that you are boosted up Dynamax Life Orb damage without taking recoil is super cool. Reuniclus is amazing against the meta menace right now, Conkeldurr, which has been absolutely dominating every event. This is the first event actually that Conkeldurr didn't win, and I'm sure Wolf took out a lot of Conkeldurrs on his way because of Reuniclus. So Reuniclus is really cool, really good against a lot of the common meta stuff, and if it's supported well, it can get that Trick Room up and sweep. So huge congrats to these three and Wolf for yet again an amazing performance, and I will link you guys to Wolf's video where he does a team breakdown of his own in the description. Next up, guys, I want to highlight Alessio Yuri Boschetto and Alberto Lara, who came in 3rd and 5th respectively. And I gotta say, this is a bit of poetry here because Yuri and Alberto were honestly the world's biggest rivals in VGC 2018. So it's really cool to see them at the same tournament doing really well, and they were using a similar team. Both teams featured Hydreigon, Togekiss, and a Lightning Rod support mon. Perhaps I was incorrect about Hydreigon, but I was just a little bit ahead of the curve, you could say. I did predict that Hydreigon usage was going to go up before Australia, but here's Hydreigon now doing really good. So Maybe your boy's just that smart. But yeah, both of these teams were bulky, setup-oriented teams. Yuri used Durant to a lot of success, just showing that Durant really is killing it when used by these really, really good players. Yuri was also using the classic Raichu-Gyarados combo. With Lightning Rod and Nuzzle, Gyarados is supported extremely well on the speed control side and protected from the quad weak electric moves, and it can really, really get out of control that way. Yuri's sweepers were Gyarados, Togekiss, and Durant, while Alberto's sweepers were a Scope Lens Togekiss, a Nasty Plot Rotom Wash, and a Life Orb Hydreigon, and they were all helped and facilitated through Fake Tears Whimsicott. 3 big special attackers, all relying on Whimsicott to help them out, but they work well by themselves too and supported by the rest of the team. So Alberto opted to use Togedemaru instead of Raichu. Togedemaru has much stronger typing in Steel Electric. It's a lot more bulky, and I would say it usually hits a lot harder than Raichu, unless Raichu's running Volt Tackle, which Yuri actually did run, which is really, really cool. But Togedemaru has a base speed of 98, while Raichu is at a whopping 110. So they are definitely different Pokemon that function very, very differently. The speed, it makes it a huge difference. So they're both pretty different, and they both opted to go with a different one, so that was really cool. So yeah, that was Yuri and Alberto's team. Let's get into the noticeable placings of the tournament. Now guys, in the noticeable placings section of the breakdown, this is where I'm going to talk about really cool Pokemon or small highlights of teams. I'm not going to go into it quite as deep as the other ones, but there were so many cool and weird Pokemon used at Collinsville, I can not gonna be able to fit them all in here. But I first want to highlight Gary Chin. He made top cut with a super interesting team that had Trapinch, Roserade, and Sirfetch'd on it. It was like a hard trick group team. It was super, super cool. And then, like I just mentioned, there were 2 Hydreigons in the top 8, which is really, really cool. I think Hydreigon has great matchups against Rotom. I think it has really great matchups against T-Tar and Excadrill. And I would even argue that it has really good matchups against Hard Trick Room in the fact that Torkoal and Rhyperior can't hit it for super effective damage, and it's super effective against a lot of the Trick Room setters. So that was really cool to see Hydreigon finally shine and get through those Togekisses. We also saw 2 of each icy threat of Galarian, Darmanitan, and Vanillux, both in top 16. 2 of each. They were really thriving in the cold of the Collinsville weather for sure. These 2 super high damage ice types were probably putting plenty of pressure on Togekiss this weekend, so it's really cool to see them succeed. And then 2 of Pokemon Home's new heroes in Prankster Liepard did great this weekend. Liepard is similar to Grimmsnarl, but it is much faster, which helps it fulfill a different role. That fast foul play is very, very important. It also gets Copycat, which of course is a whole different thing than Grimmsnarl. And I actually used Liepard at the 2016 World Championship, so I'm very excited to see Liepard's success. I am definitely a Liepard fan. And then let's take a quick look at Bingji Wang's team. Bingji got second at Dallas. He's an absolutely amazing player, and he was using a super cool team that he got top 8 with Seismitoad and Toxtricity, supported by Fake Tears and Thunderwave from Grimmsnarl. Seismitoad is able to boost up its speed through Max Geyser, and with its Swift Swim boost, it's able to outpace all the other Dynamax threats, and then Fake Tears, obviously with Prankster, goes first. So Seismitoad getting its speed up with Max Geyser, and then supported by the Prankster Fake Tears, can really clap through teams. So those were a lot of the really cool highlights I wanted to go over. Let's get into the usage statistics now. The usage stats at Collinsville, guys, were all over the place this tournament because there were lots of cool niche Pokemon scattered around the top 64. So those are going to make these stats look a lot different and weigh them into different, zones. So let's just take this with a grain of salt and say this was a very cool and creative tournament. First, I do want to mention that Dragapult usage did take another big hit this tournament. It went all the way down to 12.5% from 25%, so actually went down half. I think that Pokemon like Togekiss and Tyranitar getting a huge rise in popularity, it makes sense that Dragapult is dropping down because those Pokemon are so prevalent in the meta and they are both insanely good against Dragapult. So it makes a lot of sense. Dragapult is still a really strong Pokemon, and it does well against a lot of things too, but it's got a lot of threats coming after its neck, so that's why Dragapult's dropping. But we've also had Rhyperior have a much bigger presence here, thanks to Wolf, Aaron, and Justin, just absolutely killing it here. But yeah, Australia, there was only a 3% usage of Rhyperior, and it was all the way up to 14% here in Collinsville. And of course, like I just said, Wolf, Aaron, and Justin definitely brought up that statistic, but there were a lot of other great Rhyperior players in the field too. So Rhyperior had a good tournament this weekend. And Dusclops climbed the ranks a huge amount at this tournament. It went from only 5% on teams at Australia to nearly 19% of the teams at Collinsville, which is crazy. Dusclops is a great counter Trick Room Pokemon, and it's great as a standalone setter for Trick Room modes of team. You know, where you're running 4 standard Pokemon, but then maybe you want a Trick Room Conkeldurr mode. You know, a lot of people run, you know, Jellicent Conkeldurr, but Dusclops works great as a Pokemon like that too. Maybe you're running Dusclops Conkeldurr or Dusclops Snorlax, something like that. But yeah, Dusclops really good and grew in usage a lot. And then we also had both Raichu and Gyarados grow in usage at this tournament quite a bit, which transitioned us perfectly into judging my predictions from Australia to now. So let's get into that. So each one of these wrap-up videos, guys, I do a prediction of what I think is going to be really good at the next tournament. And I actually said, guys, that I think Conkeldurr was going to be the call for this tournament yet again. It had won every single big event up till now, except for Bockham. And it was just really dominating. But I also mentioned that I think if people wanted to use a sleeper pick that's really good against Conkeldurr, it would be Gyarados. And while Conkeldurr didn't take home the championship, it performed really well. Lots of people in top 8 and top 64 with Conkeldurr. But the cool thing was Yuri actually getting top 4 with Gyarados. So I was right about player coming in with Gyarados and making it shine, so that was really cool. I was glad that I did get that right, and those were the only 2 things I predicted. So Conkeldurr, while I said it was the call, didn't end up winning the whole tournament, but did really good. And then Gyarados came out and did really good too. So let's get into my future prediction. For my future predictions, guys, the meta is about to change completely, so predictions are not going to be very clear cut. If you guys do want to see my thoughts about Season 3, I have a Season 3 breakdown video where I talk about all the new Pokemon and what I think about them, how strong I think they're going to be. So instead of making a future prediction for the next tournament, let's just throw you guys over to that video. I think I bring up a lot of good points, so do check that out. So that's going to do it, guys, from me with the Collinsville Regionals wrap-up. There was lots and lots of cool and creative stuff flourishing here in Collinsville this weekend. Shows that the meta is still ever changing and there's so much room for creativity, and that is always entertaining. But while it is entertaining, it makes it hard for us competitive players to counter every possibility when there's so much creativity and niche mons running around. So we'll see how we can adapt to that. But I hope this video was informative and entertaining for y'all. So guys, thank you so much for watching this. Please, I urge you once again to check me out on Twitch, where I stream 5 days a week. It's a great time over there. I would love it if you guys came and supported me. That is the best way to support your boy, watching these videos and checking me out on Twitch. So guys, that's going to do it from me, and I will see you guys next week with the Malmo Regionals wrap-up. So guys, have a great one, and I will see you guys later. Peace.